On this plain stretch of road, behind the farm show complex, one family's story drastically changed.
It turned out well, Richard lost his life, and in a way I lost mine, and my sister lost, any brother she had.
Edward and Michelle Printup grew up on the move. Their mother took them to a new state nearly every year. They arrived in Harrisburg in 1977.
It seemed like every school year we had a new last name.
The one constant was abuse. The two say they were beaten by immediate family, boyfriends, and stepfathers.
He would just beat my brother literally until he bled down the back of his legs.
At age 18, Edward joined the Army, hoping to start a new life. But a knee injury earned him a medical discharge. When he got home, he and his mother were forced to live in a motel, and Edward says his stepfather ran off with everything the family owned. So on New Year's Day, 1980, Edward went out and found him.
When I asked him, what happened with him with the rent money, we're basically living on the streets.
Edward says his stepfather was not happy to see him.
Well, I already know what was going on. Another one of his famous beatings was coming up.
The two had driven in the family car. All of their possessions were in the vehicle, including the family's rifle.
I thought if I pulled it out, showed he'd seen it, it would give him pause. He would stop so we could talk. It just enraged him even more. And he said, now you're really going to get it. And he charged at me. Next thing I realized, he's on the ground in front of me. He's dead.
Richard Sargent died on Industrial Road, and 18-year-old Edward Printup had killed him.
I put myself into a situation I should not have been into. It was their marriage. I was the kid.
Printup had no previous criminal history, but at 19, he was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. 38 years later,
this is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Huntingdon.
Printup remains behind bars, but a growing number of people on the outside feel he deserves a second chance. As kids, Edward and Michelle Printup didn't have a place to call home or feel safe.
We never had a chance to make friends. He just kept moving us, and he would beat my brother and move us. So he would beat my brother, and it was hell.
The siblings say beatings from their stepfather were a regular part of their life, until Edward committed his crime in 1980.
When he shot our stepfather, the abuse stopped.
Edward Printup was 18 when he killed Richard Sargent, but 38 years after being sentenced to life in prison, supporters argue Edward has served his time.
He was a victim of severe physical abuse as a child.
Dr. Kathy Brown heads the Penn Inmate Project. The group helps only a select few inmates serving life sentences pursue a commutation of their sentence.
He pulled the gun hoping it would deter his stepfather from beating him. It didn't deter him, it aggravated him, and he came at him, and impulsively, Mr. Printup shot him.
Brown took up Printup's cause, and after years of work, Printup was granted a hearing by the State Board of Pardons. And for the first time in decades, his sister saw a glimmer of hope.
I was ecstatic. I'm like, oh my God, to get my brother back. I was so happy.
Inmates serving life in Pennsylvania only have two options: die in prison or apply to the Board of Pardons to commute your sentence and hope the governor grants your release.
I believe, as the people who recommended him to me, that he is a very good candidate for mercy and compassion.
After Department of Corrections approval, the board interviewed Printup ahead of his hearing in December.
I think if they give me a chance, I can show them that the man I am today is not the stupid, unthinking kid I was then.
The board then voted, and to grant commutation, the vote must be unanimous.
It hinged on one person, and one person didn't give the vote he needed.
At 19 years old, Edward Printup began serving a life sentence for killing his stepfather. But at 57, he saw a chance at a new life.
I want to go out there and be a tax-paying citizen like pretty much everybody else.
I don't understand.
Dr. Kathy Brown's Penn Inmate Project joined a multi-year effort to get Edward a Board of Pardons hearing where his sentence could be commuted.
Absolutely worthy of a chance.
Printup passed a merit review from the state, met all criteria for release, and even has an electrical job waiting for him when he gets out.
They have no worries of me recommitting or harming another person in my life.
The board interviewed Printup at Camp Hill State Prison. Then it would take 4 board members to vote yes to commute Printup's life sentence. 3 voted yes, but 1 board member voted no.
His sister was sitting in front of me, severely disappointed. She wants to bring her brother home.
Only Attorney General Josh Shapiro voted no. Printup's quest for commutation was over.
Mr. Shapiro, please let my brother out. He has tried to help everybody else in prison.
It's not going to break me. It's not going to stop me trying to gain my freedom. Another stone in the road that I'm going to step over, and I'll keep pushing ahead until I reach the goal of one day being free again.